Welcome to You Ought to Watch This Movie, the podcast about movies from the first decade of the 2000s, aka the aughts. Follow along and explore a movie from the aughts, getting unbridled opinions from two millennials. Sit back, relax, and enjoy one of the best decades in movies.
Welcome back to You Ought to Watch This Movie.
Also known as Yadam.
Yeah. I'm Colin.
And I'm Miles. That just lowered my chair.
Yes, and we're your millennial hosts.
The ones and only. So, Colin, what are we reviewing this time on Yadam?
This week, this episode, we're reviewing Space Cowboys.
I want to be a space cowboy.
That might not be a good pen.
Oh, no, definitely is not.
I know, because I tried to write something and I didn't know you needed to write something else.
Well, I needed to write the title. Because I forgot to write it.
Oh.
Well, that's all right.
Okay. Space Cowboys, released August 4th, 2000. This is the point in our podcast where we tell you, if you haven't seen this movie, that you can pause the podcast and go watch the movie if you don't want to hear spoilers, because we're going to probably tell you things that happen in the movie.
Yeah.
This was not on a streaming service that we could find, so it is available to rent or buy from wherever you like to do that.
Excluding Blockbuster, Hollywood Video, etc.
Yeah. Well, wherever you like to digitally rent or buy, or if you like to go to, used places
A
and
flea
find
market.
or half-price books or other places and buy a DVD.
You may be able to find it there.
Yes.
And there's probably behind-the-scenes footage that buying it digitally won't give you.
Yeah, that's true.
So
they should work on that.
Yeah, it seems so ridiculous because that was one of the cool things about DVDs, and what the heck, man?
Yeah, and another cool thing when DVDs were new was that there were no commercials at the beginning, like on VHSs,
Oh, well, you could fast forward, I guess. But
then when
right.
DVDs became more mainstream,
yeah.
then they started adding commercials, because we have a lot of DVDs that have commercials at the beginning.
Yeah.
Or trailers or whatever.
Trailers, yeah. And it became increasingly difficult to skip them on the DVDs.
Yes.
What a joke. I remember, actually, whenever I used to get movies off of LimeWire and Kazaa, is I would download the entire DVD file from the DVD, and I figured out that if I needed to find the actual main menu entry point, it was under a folder called VT_FS, and that way I could give it to someone and they could just skip the intros, because if that was the entry point, yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, so what is our first thing that we need to do?
Talk about the trailer.
Okay.
Would you like to go first?
I shall. All right. So these four guys, meaning, and I don't remember exactly who entirety of the actors' names.
We're going to get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
These four guys each have a well-defined career in real life. And just the concept of them in the same movie is exciting. More so that it is a comedy/drama. I have some high expectations for this movie.
So it's a dramedy.
A dramedy. Or a comma.
Yeah, but dramedy's less confusing because comma is a word.
I know. All right. What's your trailer thoughts?
That's what we should call this.
A
Make
dramedy.
a sting that says trailer thoughts.
Dramedy.
No,
Oh, a stinger. Oh,
that
okay.
says trailer thoughts.
Oh,
That's
well,
funny.
yeah.
Okay. There was a voiceover for part of the trailer, the one that we finally found, because it was kind of hard to find a trailer for this one. The first thing I could find that was like labeled as a trailer was a clip. And then we had to find a real trailer. And then I said I recognize 3 of the 4 old guys and know the other by name, but I didn't know him.
Are you talking about the taller one?
Yes, the one that directed it.
Was he the one who directed it?
Clint Eastwood directed it.
Oh, no. I'm not talking about
No, I didn't know him. Like, I didn't know what he looked like. I didn't know him.
Oh, okay.
I knew the other 3 from actual movies.
Oh, well, I knew Clint Eastwood, obviously Tommy Lee, and then the guy who played Noah from The Notebook.
You knew Donald Sutherland, too.
Oh, wait. What's he in again?
The Hunger Games.
The Hungry...
President Snow.
President Snow.
Now you're skipping ahead.
Sorry.
Those are gonna be my big reveals later.
Well,
on my actors we know.
Sorry.
And my other thought was, I think this will be moderately good, but it may surprise me. And the fact that it might be better than moderately good. Okay.
Well, so moving on to the summary.
Yeah, which isn't very good again.
Oh, I'm sure it's great. Come on, what do you got?
So these 4 guys were in the Air Force, so I had to look up what people in the Air Force were called, because I know they weren't all pilots, and I was like, well, what are they called then? So anyway, that's how we got to this. 4 retired airmen have the chance to go into space, fulfilling a dream they've had since they were young men.
Okay. Well, I think that's a great freaking summary. I would also possibly add, after the ringleader finds a way to leverage leverage his knowledge against an old arch enemy.
Yes.
So let's go over to actors, even though I have kind of deflated that big reveal.
That's
so
okay.
We had Clint Eastwood,
yes,
who also directed it.
Yes, and I didn't know. I mean, I know of him. Don't think I've seen anything.
He's got some really
with him in it.
Great movies. So, but I can understand like why you would see.
Yeah,
and Gran Torino is an excellent movie.
Donald Sutherland, who, as we said, played President Coriolanus Snow in the Hunger Games.
But not the song, whatever.
Not the Ballad of Snakes and Songbirds. Songbirds and Snakes. Oh wait, no. Tobasis. So the Ballad of... Oh, that doesn't help me because they're both S's. I always get the Snakes and Songbirds switched up.
It doesn't matter. It's all good.
In the original Hunger Games trilogy movie, well, there were 4 movies.
Okay.
Yeah, we had to make the 3rd book into 2 movies. Okay. Anyway, he was President Snow. James Garner, we knew him from The Notebook. He played old Noah, as Miles said. Mm-hmm. And a fun fact about him is that he is from Oklahoma.
Really?
He is from Norman.
Get out of here.
And a fun fact that I failed to mention in our last podcast when we talked about X-Men, because this person was also in The Notebook, James Marsden is also from Oklahoma. And he was born in Stillwater, but then he went to high school at Putnam City North. And I'm wondering if they have a James Marsden street like they have a Sam Bradford, like a street named after Sam Bradford for where his high school was I've driven past it. I would like to know if there's a James Marsden Street, and I don't think there is, which is kind of sad because I think
Maybe they
acting
have
is
one in
just
Stillwater.
yeah. But he went to
Because
high school.
Brad Pitt is from Colgate, Oklahoma. Oh, that's not it. He's somewhere in Oklahoma. He's from.
Yeah,
But I'd imagine like there's at least some recognition of.
maybe. But also James Marsden went to OSU.
Oh, okay. Well,
So lots of fun facts about people.
okay.
Okay, the next person from this movie, Tommy Lee Jones. We actually just saw him in another movie we reviewed in episode 15,
What movie was that?
Rules of Engagement.
Rules of Engagement. Oh yeah.
That's the only thing I knew him from.
Oh.
I didn't know
Here
him from
come
anything
the
else.
men in black.
Oh yeah, you said he wasn't. I've never seen that.
Yeah. He's yeah.
Is he in that?
Yeah. He plays Agent K.
Does he look old?
In that movie?
Yes.
I think generally he has an old person look. So to answer your question, yes, question mark?
Well, compared to all the people in this movie, he looked young.
I know.
And he was. We'll get to that.
Okay.
And then the last person we knew was James Cromwell.
Who is?
He played Zephram Cochrane.
Oh,
in
yes.
Star
the
Trek
arch
First
enemy
Contact.
of Clint Eastwood's character.
Yeah. Oh, well, I didn't write his character name down, but we knew him.
Dr. Culver, I think it was.
Bob Gerson.
Gerson, not Culver.
Whatever. But more importantly, he played Zephram Cochrane.
From Star Trek First
Contact. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a movie.
A good movie. We are Trekkies, if you didn't know. So
Didn't we know him? Didn't we say he was in something else?
Oh, yeah, he's in a few different things. I can't think of what it was that we mentioned whenever we watched it, because it's something more recent that we watched.
Because I said that he always plays like someone that's not on the up and up.
Yeah. He always plays like the bad guy. And I'm like, man, that guy can't catch a break.
Yeah.
It's like even in First Contract, is
Contract.
Yeah. Did I say contract? Yeah. In the first contract, when he went to the business meeting with the Vulcans, it wasn't until that business meeting with the Vulcans that, he turned into something good. And, it's questionable whether or not, he had devious intent, because of his whole theory of why he wanted to develop warp drive in the first place.
Yeah. And the episode of TNG he was in, he was also not a very good person.
Yeah. So that's funny.
Yeah.
Sad. But so what were your first comments?
Well, I didn't write a lot of comments down.
Well, that's okay.
I'm not going to mention names, and Miles is not going to mention any names either to protect the real life people I'm going to talk about.
Okay.
But I was just going to say that two of the actors as they were the characters, not like actors in real life, but like that Jerry guy who was played by Donald Sutherland. He reminded me of somebody that we square dance with, or at least before he cleaned up to go on the mission.
I don't know who you're talking about. So.
Okay, well that's good. Yeah. And then more his look, not his like perverted attitude. Okay, well that's good. And then Hawk in parts of the movie reminded me of that's Tommy Lee Jones's character. He reminded me of somebody else that we square dance with as well.
No idea who you're talking about, so I'll be interested after the podcast recording to find out exactly who it is you're talking about. But
okay.
Yeah.
Well, and then my other two comments were this was a feel-good movie for the most part. And then
all of it was a feel-good movie.
No.
What wasn't a feel-good part of it? Even the end was a feel-good part.
When Hawk is diagnosed with cancer and it's inoperable. That's sad.
Yes, but the ending of the movie made it all feel good.
Okay.
Like, I mean, what better way to go out
Okay.
for Hawk?
Okay.
All right.
And then I said, I'm glad they got to fulfill their dream.
Again, feel good. Like, regardless of the cancer. Like, oh, yeah, that sucks. But, you know, like, I mean, he got to ride a space rocket to the moon.
That was
Saving, okay, he saved humanity by preventing a nuclear war that would have caused, you know, the extinction of humanity. And, you know, he ended up on the moon, to which, you know, he had longed for his entire life. That's where he passed. I mean, you know, he was just perfectly positioned, you know, at the end of the movie, you know, laying back like he was, you know, laying back on a couch watching Earth. I don't find that a coincidence, so to speak. I think he got there and he's like, oh, all right. This is a great view. And then lights out.
okay.
What else you got?
That's all.
Oh, okay.
What are your comments? I mean, I'm sure I'll think of something else, but
So Colin said right at the beginning, oh no, it's going to be like supernova. People going into space and they lose their clothes. And I thought to myself, well, I sure hope not with this cast, you know, because they're older. And so, you know, later on, you know, in the movie, there's a medical exam and I'm like, well, nah, that destroyed that hope because, you know, all of them are lined up and you just see their, you know, derriere, you know, full on the camera. And the what was it? The guy who also plays Coriolanus Snow. What's his name?
Donald Sutherland.
Yeah. So Donald Sutherland's character, there's this, you know, nurse. And so as soon as the nurse enters or the
Doctor.
female doctor enters, you know, she, you know, comes into the room and all the other guys quickly, you know, cover up their, you know, crown jewels, if you will. But what's his name again?
Donald Sutherland. But his character is Jerry.
Jerry, yeah, he just sits there and, you know, like stands there and, you know, like perks up straighter and, like, you know, just smiles at the doctor, and it's like, oh man, this guy has no shame. So, and also at the beginning of the movie, and I had told you, you know, because my pen ran out of ink. You know, that I was writing it down and I was right, is I wrote down, and you can see here, I think that the flight director was, you know, and was working in tandem with the Russian general because, you know, the looks they were exchanging. And it's like, okay, how did this computer program that Clint Eastwood's character, you know, created back in the 60s end up with the Soviets? Well, it looks like, you know, the his arch enemy that, you know, basically took away his dream of going to space, was working with the Soviets and got them that program. And, you know, it's like, I wish, you know, like there was more of an exit to the movie that you could feel a little more like, justice, you know, because, I mean, the entire planet was almost plunged in a nuclear war. And that NASA director, Gerson, yeah, it's like he's responsible for giving up state secrets to the Soviets in the 60s. Like, that's a big deal. And, you know, it would have been enjoyable to see him escorted out, you know, in handcuffs. Yeah. But anyway, also, I really like that they had the four main characters on a fake Jay Leno spot. Jay Leno, the Tonight Show with Jay Leno.
Yeah.
That was pretty entertaining.
But then I read that they were also actually on the Leno show to promote this movie as well.
So I wonder if they used actual excerpts from it, or if, like they, after or apart from them actually airing the episode of The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, if they had a little segment where they filmed specifically for the movie. Because I just thought it was, great. Because I remember watching The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, and I always thought it was fun.
We weren't a Channel 4 family.
For those listening outside of Oklahoma, Channel 4 is NBC.
Yes, we were a CBS family. We watched the David Letterman show.
David Letterman's Top 10.
Yes, and the stupid human tricks.
Oh, yeah.
And stupid animal tricks.
Yeah. You see, that was when you could watch, late shows without being, just politically saturated. Whenever humor was just humor. And that's all I got to say about that.
Well, I was trying to find the little, here. The interview with Jay Leno was filmed in front of a real Tonight Show audience. Leno made monologue jokes about Viagra, Matlock, and prostate problems. Leno ad-libbed with the actors like he would in a real interview. But then I also read on a different trivia thing on IMDb that they actually went on the show
to promote it
as well.
Yeah.
Like at a real episode of The Tonight Show.
Well, that's pretty cool. So, are we, do you want to grade it?
I don't know. I was going to say that I was surprised by how old these people really, or these actors were. Like Clint Eastwood was born in 1930, and he's still alive.
Yeah.
And then I was looking into the other ones, and I thought, well, all these people look old, but Tommy Lee Jones looks a lot younger. And he was born in 1946. I mean, this is all info from IMDb, so if it's not true, that's where I got it.
Yeah.
But even for 2000, like Clint Eastwood was 70, and
okay. Huh.
And Tommy Lee Jones was 54. Wait, that's correct. Yeah. And Donald Sutherland's was
what year was he born?
35.
So
he was 65.
Yeah.
And he's also Kiefer Sutherland's dad.
Oh, interesting.
And he passed away this year. Like Donald Sutherland passed away this year.
Oh, sad.
I knew that already, though. I, for some reason, knew that, but missed other things.
Yeah.
And then James Garner,
who also plays Noah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He
was born.
Well, I'm looking. Oh, there we go. Oh, and he passed away a long time ago. I knew he passed away. I forgot how long ago it was. He was born in 28. So he was the oldest one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'd probably say, I would hope at least that, he died in the arms of a loved one in, a memory care, hospice unit reciting their love story.
Yeah. Maybe.
AKA The Real Notebook.
Aw. Well, yeah. So I was just like...
Bunch of old farts. Is that what you thought?
Sort of. I didn't say that.
Well,
I didn't say it. I was going to call them old geezers, but that's rude. Because I don't want to be called an old geezer when I'm old.
I don't think you will be.
You might.
That's okay. Listen, I'm the one here who can't wait, at some point, and even if I don't need them, to have an excuse to go to the dentist and just get dentures in so I can pop them out and say, "Get back here, funny boy."
Okay.
So, what are we grading it?
Okay. Well, I gave it an 82%.
Oh, An 82%.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I will say I'll give it an 85. Just because it's like, it wasn't so profound that, I'd watch it again. But I enjoyed it. And, like I wouldn't say no to, it being on in the background if it was on the TV.
That's what I said too. I was thinking I enjoyed it,
But
but I
considerations
wouldn't
would you
like
make?
pick
Yeah.
it like to watch, just to sit down and watch. But if it were on TV, I'd probably leave it on.
Indeed. Yeah. Well, hey, we'll be back here in 2 weeks with, our next episode. I don't know what movie is up next.
We haven't picked it.
Oh,
We have to go through lots of trailers again.
how exciting. Well, until next time.
I'm Colin.
And I'm Miles. We'll see you later.
And this has been Yadam.
Oh, what's Yadam? I know what it is.
You ought to
You
watch
just said
this
it.
movie.
Yadam. Until next time.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to You Ought to Watch This Movie, a podcast about movies from the first decade of the 2000s, aka the aughts. Be sure to subscribe for new episodes covering movies you ought to watch. We'll see you next time.